Okay, we are back. Chapter 13 and chapter 14. Here we go. You are here with Jade and Antoinette. Let's dive right in. So, chapter 13. We have Winter is still staying with Sister Soldier, still sizing her up. Mm-hmm. This time she is allowed in Sister Soldier's bedroom, where it's a very interesting room. She has a round bed, which obviously, in Winter's mind, she's like, that means that you gotta be like and she says some real shit. She says, the bedroom is a place where a girl gets to say who she is. And I'm just like, that is kind of true. Like, what you put into your bedroom is usually a reflection of who you are, right? So we have this round bed. We have filing cabinets next to the bed, which is just random. Books everywhere. Barbecue chips everywhere. Half-eaten food everywhere. An exercise bike and change spilled all over the floor. It's just like, ooh. So,
I mean, maybe slightly triggering.
Yeah. So,
especially if you've ever lived with a roommate in a New York apartment.
So it's just showing like the complexity, right, of Sister Soldier and like who she is and who she's not, who she's trying to be, that she's still very much a human. She's not perfect. She doesn't have it all together. She's also only 25. She is a sexual being. This is what we've derived from this bed thing, because
absolutely,
a round bed, you gotta get custom sheets for that, honey. Like, it's a whole vibe.
Let me tell you something. Poker nose, sexy time.
Right.
Is what that is.
Right.
That's what round bed gives me.
Right. So there we have it. Sister Soldier asks Winter about her future. That's why she calls her into the room. Winter has no answers. Winter is just like, what are you talking about? Oh, I tried to finish school. I didn't. She said, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? Make money. Okay. So then Sister Soldier starts to like tell her, well, you really keep yourself up well. You're very fashionable. Your hair looks amazing. That's a skill. Like, she's trying to show her like, yes, you are beautiful, but the fact that you're able to, present yourself, package yourself like this is a skill. And it should be valued, not just the fact that you look good, the fact that you can do it, right? And I saw that you did Lauren's nails. They look beautiful. Like, and Winter is like, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Next, trying to get chose.
Bitch, I don't want to serve people. No. What do you mean? I'm not doing no hands and feet.
Right, because remember,
for the rest of my life.
Lauren asked her to do her feet. She was like, I know she don't think I'm touching her feet. Like, never. Now, enter new characters, Boom and Surge. Surge is someone that Lauren's been...
Can we talk about this? I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry.
Tell me.
Please go.
Tell me.
I was like, I want to talk about this phone conversation.
Yes, we can, actually. Enter Boom and Surge. Lauren is talking to Surge, and Lauren is presenting Boom for Winter. Phone conversation goes like this. Lauren passes her the phone. She says, here, talk to Boom. Then Winter says, Boom who? And then Lauren says, you wanted to meet somebody. And then in a deep voice over the phone, she hears, are you ugly? And she's like, are you ugly? And then he's like, nah, I'm just saying, though. It don't make no sense for me to drive up there if you ugly. For all I know, Lauren and Serge could be setting me up to give them a ride, and I ain't playing taxi all night. So just let a nigga know what you look like. And she's like, what you pushing? An Infinity. Well, come see for yourself. All right, but if you ugly, I'm just pulling off. Romance.
And she's like, whatever, nigga. I said that. First of all, this gave me very Friday.
You say you ugly.
When people say I look like Janet Jackson.
I know, she was like, nah, because see, I ate twice before I came. I said, ma'am. Oh, is she alive? R.I.P. I don't think she is. She died.
No, she's not. No. And Dale passed away.
Damn.
Rest in peace. This conversation gave me great amusement, and I was also disgusted.
I was disgusted, but I was less like, yes. I know that there are conversations happening like this. I know that there are. I've never had one because I curse you out, haven't? But I know that they exist, and that is very upsetting.
I ain't never had a nigga be like, you ugly, but what you look like? What you look like?
Yeah, what you look like.
I've had. This was triggering. This is why it was funny, but it was also in my big grown age.
Oh my god!
Like, this is a problem.
Yo,
keep going.
So now they're out on a date. They're at the movie theater, kissing and everything else because she thought he was cute. He's light skinned with curly hair. Problematic.
They liked each other.
And so tonguing each other down, which I hate that phrase. And then they go back to his house where there's a mattress on the floor. Obviously, he shares the space with Serge, who there's only a sheet dividing the room. So Winter's like, whatever, I'm still down to fuck. And it's trash. It's trash. His penis is tiny. He's rubbing her nipples too long. He didn't last long.
Trigger!
The one thing I was triggered. The one thing that I can say that I was happy about was that at least she said something. She was mean as hell when she said it, but at least she says something. She ain't just fake the funk, which a lot of us do.
Oh, no.
Hashtag triggered.
Oh.
Then, moving right along, Winter is now running out of money. She only has like $300 some left, honey. So she's struggling. This is where she sizes Doc up. That's when she's like, all right, I'm running out of money. I got to figure something out. So she's like, fuck Lauren. Fuck Sister Soldier. Let me go see what Doc talking about. So she goes downstairs. She acts like she's interested in medicine. She's getting a tour of all the expensive ass equipment that's down there. She's asking, how much do you charge? She already peeped where the lockbox was for the money. She's sizing this place up like, okay, if you get two patients a day, that's 300. And then when do you go to the bank? I gotta watch and see how often she deposits in the bank. Like, she's on it, like a true raggedy
scammer. Like a scammer.
So they also have a conversation about gynecological health, which is interesting. We'll get into that later. And then there's a women's meeting, right? Sister Soldier's holding a women's meeting at the house. It ranges. There's young people from like 15 to like 40-year-olds. They come through. Rashida is there. Winter, instead of having any bit of respect and gratitude for this girl, tries to ignore her. Which I'm just like, she just saved your entire life.
You would not be here if it wasn't for her.
I can't deal with this girl. Like, what is wrong with this girl? So anyway, she tries to ignore her. And this is not successful because Rashida pulls up, how's it going? In her, sweet, excited way. And Winter watches this meeting and it's just like, this is so bogus. This is a joke, which we're going to get into. But it ends with them at the meeting. Do we want to keep going into... No, let's pause here and talk about themes.
Let's talk about some themes in chapter 13. Page 188. I would like to talk about. I'm sorry. Doc said, have you ever had a pap smear? And Winter said, a pap who?
I was like...
I was hot, and this is not her fault, again, because in all of the advice that her mother gave her, and all of the advice on how you find it again, how you pick one, and how you keep one, and what you do with yourself, she put her on birth control, but she's never once spoken to her about her vaginal health.
No.
That is alarming. And this girl has been out here. Winter's been fucking. She says it either in chapter 13 or 14, or maybe 12. I'm all thrown off. She says in this 4 chapters that we read that, what did she say? I just lost my thought, child.
She lies and says that she's not having
since she was
sex.
12.
Yeah, but she was fucking since she was 12.
But she was fucking since she was 12. But she's never even so much as had a gynecologist take a look and make sure that everything is okay. Frightening.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on that. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. Even the Boom and Surge experience where she sleeps with Boom, it's just so... It's all physical. There's nothing else. There's no room for anything else. I think that's why she's so deeply offended and pissed, because obviously she doesn't know this guy. She doesn't care to get to know him really. And that is her. And it's interesting to me because you think sometimes with her interaction with sex, I think I would assume that it would be very like transactional and very like, I gotta please him. We're gonna get into that in the next chapter. But she wants hers, which is actually healthy.
Oh no.
Right?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of healthy.
She does.
But it's just all of the stuff mixed in with how she goes about getting it, how there's nothing outside of the physical act. It's all very alarming with her. And she,
I think,
she doesn't know anything else. It makes me think about her mom and her dad's sex life of like, wonder what that was. Like when she grew up.
Probably. Something tells me it was a little different. I'm sure her mother.
I think her dad cared
I don't know. We
about her,
actually don't know.
but we don't know.
No, he did. But he also had another child and a whole nother family. So her mother was also very big on you got to please your man. You got to look good for your man. So we don't really know what was going on there.
Right.
Santiago could have the smallest dick known to man. We literally have no clue.
He probably does.
What? There was something I had a thought about.
Jade had
overall.
a thought, y'all.
I know. And then y'all know the weed took it
Oh
away.
my God. Well, if you get it again.
It will come back to me, I promise.
I think something here that
Oh, that's what it
go
is.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Winter's mentality makes sense for 16, 17 years old in a lot of ways, right? But I think I'm also, and there's construction happening. I think where I get a little thrown off, but then also certain things make sense. I remember being 16 and 17. I remember the friend hookups and the meetups, and you know what I'm saying? We gonna go link and, you know, go out to eat. We're gonna see if he has a cute friend or his friend is cute. You're gonna see what he look like. I remember all that stuff. Winter's behavior is so grown, though. I remember being involved in things I didn't have no business being involved in. But her behavior is so grown, and I'm just fascinated by we see the youth come through a lot and how she thinks and the things that she does. But I think I'm also fascinated by how she's able to navigate in society in certain ways, and people don't clock that. Or maybe they don't care. I don't know. It's just something that came up. I was like, yo, she got some wild grown behavior. But anyway, keep going.
I think that too, something that we're seeing in this chapter is that Sister Soldier's her complexity and how some people really fall in line with it and some people are very skeptical of it. And I think rightfully so a bit. Right? Because with Sister Soldier, we have this women's meeting, and you mentioned a savior complex in the last video, and I don't disagree with that. I think that at 25 too, it's really hard to navigate having that much insight, right? Thinking you know everything because you read it in a book, having that much pull within your community, kind of walking around like you are on a pedestal, and peering down on everyone as if you're all knowing. And I think she really tries not to give that vibe off, but I think sometimes she does. Like with the conversation that she has with the woman who is a dancer, as a stripper, right? And Sister Soldier wasn't saying anything that wasn't, you know, she asked the woman, why are you a dancer? And she said, because I make such and such, and she said, because I gotta feed my kid. She was like, you gotta make $300, $400, $500 a night to feed your kid. Like, if we're gonna have an honest conversation, let's be honest and say, like, you strip because you like that money. Which I'm like, I don't think it's that cut and dry.
It's not at all. And just because your child has a roof over their head and some food in their belly doesn't mean that there aren't other things to take care of. And this also comes into, and I understand, again, mentalities have changed as time has gone on, but we do need to keep in mind that this is a shame to sex workers.
It also,
you know what I'm saying?
Is indicative of, like, Sister Soldier, you don't pay any fucking bills.
None, girl. You don't pay rent. You ain't got no kids.
Right,
you ain't got you don't.
It's different for you. There's a level of privilege that I think she has that she doesn't acknowledge, and I think that's what makes people uncomfortable. And Winter even says, one by one, she knocked them down like bowling pins. Talking about the women and the groups, because the question that she was posing was like, what was the question that the Sister Soldier was asking them? I forget.
She asked a number of things. She asked one girl if she believes in God.
Yeah, it was
what
like,
you believe.
Who are you? What do you believe? Yeah. And so Winter says, one by one, she knocked them down like bowling pins. She had an answer for everyone about everything. I could tell that she had sat and thought up of these responses. She said she was doing it to help. Somehow people couldn't figure out whether she was helping or just getting off on herself. After a while, it didn't matter. And it was just like, yeah, I think there is a level of her getting off a little bit on herself. I think there's a level of privilege she doesn't acknowledge. And
there's a blind spot.
There's a blind spot there, but there isn't a blind spot. And it was interesting when she first meets Winter. I don't remember what she said, but I remember noting it. And she asked Winter something about like her money and how she looked. And Winter said, now she was speaking my language. And I remember thinking at the House of Success, no one spoke her language, and that's why they weren't getting through, like the psychiatrist and the people like that. So I think there's a level that that Sister Soldier can speak the language, but there's still that blinder up where, because once you reach a certain level, you're always going to be a little bit out of touch. I feel like you're never going to quite always understand, because you're just you don't have the same lived experience anymore.
Also, it was on another note, kind of back to what we were talking about. I was just irritated when she was talking to the dancer, and she was asking, do you let strangers fill up on you at a bar? Are you willing to do a lap dance in a string? Are you willing to suck a dick for a new dress? I said, now wait a minute. These are three different things. Yeah. These are three
there's
totally different things.
There's a lot of assumptions being made there. And you can argue that she's asking and she's saying she's not judging, and it doesn't feel like she is, but it does, right? It just feels like gaslighting a little bit. And then it just is interesting. I don't know if I would connect with the Sister Soldier. I don't think I would be attending meetings. Would I listen to her if she was like speaking? No. Sure, but would I like be attending and like holding on to her every word? No.
No. I'd be like, okay, let me eat the meat and spit out the bones of whatever's happening here, because between that damn
the AIDS thing. Oh god.
And the gel and her reaction to the AIDS patients, and then I'm like, okay, and we're gonna get into a little bit more in this next chapter, actually.
And the last thing for me for themes here is that I found it really interesting at the end of the chapter when Winter says, this is about Doc. 4 years in one college, 4 years in another college, 2 years working around the clock in a hospital with no pay, then back to college and certification for this and that. She was a medical doctor, a gynecologist, and a surgeon. By the time she looked up 12 to 15 years later, everybody was all paired off. All she got was a bunch of degrees. She could fix people's bodies and brains, but she couldn't repair her own personal life. I wasn't going to make that mistake. And I was like, it's so interesting how Doc can do everything that these men can do for Winter, or that Winter thinks these men can do for her, but she doesn't see the value in it because it's from a woman, and a woman who is single. So Doc is not a boss.
A single woman.
Right. Doc is not anything to like ascribe to. Like, Doc is just like this pitiful single woman who happens to like completely be able to take care of herself, but there's no value in it without a man.
No. And if she had a man, then Winter would have said, oh, well, she was out here with all these degrees and she's with a man who makes less money than her.
Right.
So, she's taking care of somebody. Couldn't be me. I ain't gonna do it. Like, she will find a criticism.
Chapter 14. All right. Winter and Lauren.
Can I just say, I'm sorry. These names are cracking me up. This GS and this LX, because these are like levels of cars.
Everything's about a car. Mercedes, Porsche, what was the other one? I don't remember. Bentley, some shit.
So when the names kept popping up, I was like, Are these like the levels of cars? But anyway,
well, that's
going.
his rap name, obviously. But okay, GS is having a birthday party. Lauren finds out. They're like, oh shit, we lit. Winter decides to spend her last bit of money on a dress. But of course, we're going to get into that. Now, all four, Doc, Winter, Lauren, and Sister Soldier, go to the party. The party is packed. They have VIP passes. They feeling themselves. Somehow they lose track of Doc and Sister Soldier, which to Lauren means, okay, there's got to be a VIP area somewhere because we're with the regulars. We got to get to VIP if we're going to get somebody to bankroll us.
Because I know my sister knows everybody, so that has to be where she at.
Right. So while they're trying to get into the VIP space, they have VIP badges on, but the badges colors have changed now. So there's like a VIP. Bullet comes out of VIP. Bullet, if we remember, is the guy that Winter slept with while her daddy was getting locked up. Bullet is also the guy.
Played it for everybody at most.
His boy played it. Right, his boy played it, but he was in it, and I'm sure was in on it.
And Bullet, I was like, was not protesting or no. Bullet also is the one that Midnight fought because Bullet had ties with some of Winter's father's enemies. So Bullet and her are kind of flirting back and forth. She's still very turned on by Bullet. She's still like, this dude can make you come with your whole body. And Bullet has a certain amount of I guess allure and esteem to him that she is very enticed by. Bullet tells his man, give her your pager, which is obviously a power play. She doesn't even have the number to the pager. She asks for it. He's like, you don't need it because I'm the only one paging you. This is my code. You call me when he's ready, which means when he gets his money up enough to talk to Winter. And it wasn't until she asked, she's still going back and forth in her mind. It wasn't until she asked him what he's pushing, and he said that he was riding with his friend. Even after she thought about, this was my father's enemy. This was this was that. This nigga deceived me and played my shit for the public. Even after all of that, the deciding factor was he was not driving his own car.
Yeah, that's it.
Keep going.
So now we get into a situation where security lets Lauren know, because the security officer has been flirting with Lauren the whole time as she tries to get into the VIP. There is a VIP party back at Bullet's house. Back at GS's house. So they make their way there. It's 2:00 in the morning. There's mad girls there all trying to get chose. And the announcement is, GS needs some pussy tonight. Who's going to give it to him? Mad women get excited. And he's like, okay, line up. We're going to have a contest. The contest consists of, it's the most demeaning shit to read. And it went on way too long because I was ready to just close the book. They're lifting up their shirt to show if they have stretch marks. They're getting sat down if they're ugly, if they have a weave, if they're too fat, if they're this, if they're that. And then, there's still 40 girls left, which was wild to me before they said the weave thing, and then 20 sat down. And then now they're getting into trivia, and they're going down the line to see who's a smart bitch. The trivia questions consisted of questions regarding characters' names in cartoons. So that goes to show you, like, what are we talking? This is not Jeopardy. Like, what are we doing right now? This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life or read. Winter wins, though. And she wins because
everybody's dumb.
They don't want GS to sleep with anybody that has on stale old panties with holes. So they proceed to tell the two women that are left to spread their legs, and he looks under their skirts. Winter has no panties on and is freshly manicured down there, and so she wins. She goes upstairs. The security guard / bodyguard propositions her and is like, look, we could just dip out in a room right now. She ignores him. And mind you, she makes a point to say that he was ugly and fat. Meanwhile, he's judging all of these women. Patriarchy. And also women allowing patriarchy and upholding it. And so she goes into this room where the lights are basically completely off. The only light that's showing is from a PlayStation. And proceeds to do what she does best and get on top and give head and ride like the stallion she is. And then this man busts the biggest walnut inside of her. No Lord protection. Jesus. And then she wakes up the next morning. No one's next to her, but she's being nudged. She has a dream, by the way, that she's cleaning up after their house guests, which she's fantasizing that somehow she's wifey now because she just turned him out so well, and that's not how vagina works.
We know Winter likes to fantasize.
Girl, that girl is just a dum-dum. And so then the maid, not the maid, she wasn't a maid, she was like a production person, is tapping Winter and she's like, look, girl, I don't know what the fuck happened here last night, but you got to go. Like,
you gotta go.
So she's like, oh, well, I'm GS's guest. And she's like, girl, GS is not due on set until 12 p.m. When I read on set, I said, oh, God, this is not his house. This is a rental, and he's about to shoot a video. Lord
and she
Jesus.
was like, wait, this is... So she gets dressed. She's like, those are the cars. They rented too. Everything's rented.
Cars are rented. House is rented.
Everybody's rented.
Somehow she still thinks that she slept with GS. It has not been confirmed yet. But I'm like, girl, 17. You didn't sleep with GS. Girl, he's not doing sets. Woo! He's not on set. But so she goes back home, gets a ride from one of the security guard officer, bodyguard people. Is mad rude to him, but gets the ride. Lauren is missing. Lauren has been missing for 2 days. So Winter is working with Sister Soldier, watching Sister Soldier. Her anger to go from angry to now terrified and worried about her sister. Then the doorbell rings. She goes to answer it. It's Lauren. She gives Lauren a heads up like, yo, your sister is more worried now than angry. So you could probably get away with it if you flip shit on her. And you tell her, like, how could you leave me? How could you this? How could you that? Master manipulator.
Always think about manipulating somebody.
End of chapter.
Okay. I know there was a specific theme you wanted to talk about with her saying life is a poker game. In the beginning,
when Winter realizes that there is this potential birthday party that she could go to, she knows that she only has $350 left to her name, right? And so she's like, fuck it. I'm going to spend this money because Santiago has always said life is a crap game / poker game. And this is an investment. Some trick in that party was going to bankroll all of my fantasies one way or another. So she's willing to throw possible food, shelter, clothing, medical expense, anything and everything that she needs on a nice dress in order to possibly get chose at a party so someone can bankroll. It's like the risk.
Possibly to us, to her, it's without a doubt in her mind. There's no question. She's going to get chose. She's Winter Santiago, 17 years old at this celebrity party or what have you. But, go off, young sister.
That was just something I saw. And that just goes into, again, the mindset that living for the now, not planning for the future, and it just being incredibly, it's just so risky. It's just so, and I can't understand it because I just, me. I just don't live my life like that.
I know. Antoinette be like, I'm not getting my nails done. That is like $43 I can put in my savings.
But I'm risk adverse. I'll never lie. Which I have to be on the other. I have to do better on that end. But girl, that's too much. And you're putting you're not betting on your balance. I guess she's betting on herself, but she's betting on herself in a way that makes me wildly uncomfortable.
It's not smart. She's not betting on herself in the way that she should. She's
not.
She's not really betting on herself if we're gonna be real honest.
She's betting on somebody else.
She's betting on someone else. She's betting on
her vagina.
her vagina. I was going to say something else, but yes, monetization. Yeah. She is betting on her parts, and she's betting on somebody else taking care of her and doing all these things. And maybe I missed something in my binge reading, so refresh me if I'm wrong. But remember when she bought all that stuff for Santiago and then put it in a locker somewhere in Midtown so that she could navigate around? Did she ever go back and pick that stuff up?
No.
I'm wondering why. Because you could have gone and picked up these Ferragamo shoes, which I think baseline they may cost like $500 and something.
Well, she never picked them up because she ended up getting drunk off the Henny and the weed, and by the time she went back to the House of Success, she got jumped, and then she was scrambling. She should have picked it up after she got jumped.
Right? I'm like, you didn't even think to go back. You put it in a locker.
She was just scrambling.
She just don't be thinking.
Something that really rubbed me wrong was, if Sister Soldier is this enlightened, why are you bringing these underage girls to this celebrity party where they are drinking? They're exposed to all kinds of shit. And also, if you are in VIP and Bullet is in VIP, you know what kind of people GS is surrounding himself with, Miss Soldier. So, like, she's trying to have the best of both worlds, and it just doesn't work like that. Or maybe it does. I'm fucking up. I don't know.
No, because in addition to that, okay, let's say she's like, I want to give you all more exposure. This may, people may not say this is the conventional, appropriate environment, but blah, blah, blah. Let's just say for fun's sake that that's what was happening. Why would you, one, bring these underage girls to this party, and two, leave them? How you gonna leave them at the party? So that you can go back to the VIP, but they can't conduct or handle themselves, so you're not gonna bring them back there with you.
Your baby sister. You won't leave them.
So you gonna leave her to the wolves in the club?
She won't leave Winter alone in the house by herself. That was one of the rules, right? But you're gonna leave them.
But you'll leave them in the club.
In the lion's den.
But yeah, you bringing them to the club. It's okay for you to not leave them in the house, but it's okay for you to leave them at the club. My people, if somebody goes missing while we're out, I'm not going back home.
Everything stops.
Like, everything stops. At what point did you go back home, Sister Soldier? How long were you back in the VIP? Because also the security guards told them that that the party in New Jersey for GS wasn't until 2 a.m. later on. So where were you all this time?
They got inside around 10:30, right? Around 10:30. Them little girls should have had their asses home by 12. They should have never been in the crib.
Yeah.
Child, I'm sleeping.
But Sister Soldier wanted to be there, and they're not allowed to be in the house alone. So it's like, okay, well, I got to bring y'all to the club. Okay, but I can leave you at the club alone. 25. I'm telling you, there'd be some stuff missing there.
She wants her cake and eat it too, though, that Sister Soldier.
Yeah, she does.
She really does. I believe that she is enticed by that lifestyle as well, by the glitz and glam, even though she tries to act like she's not, but she's going to remain on her high horse. And
let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you're able to balance it out. There's nothing wrong with people get impressed all the time. We're not going to sit here and act like it's a problem for you to be impressed by something. It is a problem when it starts impeding on your judgment. And there are hard blind spots with her, to the point where I do not trust you to leave you in this sheltered environment because you may steal from me, but I do trust you to have you go out in this world and I can go do whatever I need to do, and I need to focus on that. She's very enamored with who she's around.
Move. Yeah, that was a dodo bird move.
Yeah.
Speaking of enamored, Winter and Bullet. Winter wants to be controlled. Like, even reading how Bullet dealt with her on some, like, he was just in complete control. Even though she refused him that night, the allure of him telling his man, I don't care if you just got your pager, give me a pager and give it to her. The allure of him saying, like, nah, you gonna be mine. You gonna be mine. Like, watch, like, period. Like, this is what's happening. Like, it just...
You wildin'.
that's what gets Winter going. That's the thing where she's like, wow, that's the pull. And also the fact that he can make her come. But
yes,
and
in
again, all these
again,
instances, even with Midnight, that's what she secretly wants. And Midnight's like, oh, do you have a brain, B? Like,
she likes for somebody to make the decisions for her because that's the way in which she grew up. Now she thinks she doesn't. I don't think she realizes she likes that. She thinks she's this independent woman. She thinks she's a woman.
She thinks she's in full control.
She thinks she's this independent woman. I bust my own nuts. I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna get into this game. I can finesse these niggas. Winter stays getting finessed. She stays getting finessed. She likes to be controlled to a certain extent. It turns her on. But this is what's been fed into her. So this is what she thinks is power and attractive.
And then the whole GS, I don't even know where to begin with how she was willing. She's just been willing to be demeaned and objectified and disrespected for the opportunity to be chose way too often. I mean, with Natalie's man, with Bullet, and the sex tape, with this competition to see who's gonna give up their vagina and their body.
I was disturbed by the sheer number of individuals there who were willing to participate in this competition.
Yes,
it
was
to fuck this nigga.
Wild. And then
it's because it will really happen a lot of times, and that's what's really the really sad part about it.
Yeah, like there are definitely people that are doing this type of shit, and it's like, oof, I don't know.
I did die laughing at her.
Know what to say.
At her lack of college experience or understanding. She was like, it was some bitch's ski wing in my ear.
Right, the AKAs and it's just like, it just shows how young she is. She's a baby. She's a baby spreading her legs for grown men to look up and see if she's worth getting fucked. What a mind.
And then and then don't even look at them and letting them slide up in a raw. She don't even know
and
them.
Ejaculate in her.
Get in her in the first place. No sort of foreplay or affection. It's just like, nah, let's get to the getting. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
And she's 17.
Disturbing.
Who was fucking? I'm not saying
I wasn't even having
17.
Sex
I know.
17. I wasn't
know
even
plenty
having
of people who were.
But
who was this like? Yeah, and you ain't eating it right, and you ain't hitting it right. And I'm just trying to figure out, did y'all bitches just know your bodies that well at 17? Like, apparently, you wasn't still figuring it out? But to each his own. I just wonder.
Then we get back to the house, and she turns into, it's like she's always getting finessed with men, and then she also tries to be this master manipulator.
Yeah.
And tells Lauren how to manipulate Sister Soldier and play the victim and turn it. And Sister Soldier peeps that she's watching this discourse, and she takes her sister in the other room to have a private conversation because she's like, nah.
Yeah, it's still family. This is still family matters.
Yeah, but that's it. That's where we're at.
Winter's gonna ask herself out of every decent relationship. She's hardly had any. But she's
can't
just
remember how this book ends. I really can't.
I don't either. I'm kind of glad I can't though.
Me too. I want to know. I hope that she runs into her mother eventually.
I feel like her mother comes back up. I really can't remember the ending of this book. That's kind of wild.
Me neither.
Well, that's okay. We're going to get to it very soon. So that's chapters 13 and 14. So we had 11 and 12 come out, and 13 and 14. And we will see you all very soon we only have 4 more chapters?
No, 6.
5 more? 6 more chapters. 6 more chapters.
The 20th chapter is 5 pages though, so.
3 more videos. So, and maybe, we'll see what happens at the end of the book. We'll see what we can work out. Because we do want to hear from you all, and we do want to engage. So we'll see what we can work out for the end of the book. But make sure you all get ready for chapters 15 and 16 coming up very soon. Again, we're not waiting the 2 weeks anymore. We're just going to bang them out as we record them, and then you all will have them there. Stay tuned for more things with Jade and Antoinette, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.